Thanks, Green. On lowering prices, you said earlier that the actions the president has taken have worked. So is it your sense that when people were home for Thanksgiving, catching up with their family members, they were saying to each other, can you believe how much more affordable things have gotten?
So honestly, I wouldn't, I hear the question, but I want to make sure this is very clear. We take that very seriously. We take what families, the decisions that they make at their kitchen table, whether it's during Thanksgiving or whether it is every month as they're trying to make hard decisions about how they move forward with taking care of their family. We take that very seriously. It's not a joke to us. It is important to us. This is the president who talks about it in a very personal way when he talks about what families have to go through, working families, middle-class families, and that's why he's taking actions that he has. And so, look, the fact is, the data shows that the economy is improving. The data shows that households remain in a strong financial position. Household wealth is at a record high, with lower income households seeing the largest gain since the pandemic. Those are indeed what we're seeing. But we don't take lightly. We do not take lightly what Americans and families continue to feel. That's why the president at 2:00 is going to talk about what the actions that he's taking to continue to lower costs.
But why do you think it is that when you say the economy is improving and President Biden says the economy is improving, that a majority of Americans outside of this building are not buying it?
So here's the thing. When we walked into this administration, the economy was on a tailspin. That is the fact. Because of the last administration, because of the Trump administration, because of how they dealt with COVID and the pandemic, because they didn't have a comprehensive plan. The president came in, he passed the American Rescue Plan, which was able to get the economy back on its feet, which was able to open up small businesses were able to open up, schools were able to open up, and we understand what Americans have been feeling over the last 2-3 years. It's going to take some time. We get that. It's going to take some time, but it does not take away how we have seen the economy getting back on its feet. We actually had to fix the problem that we saw that the last administration left us.
But almost 3 years in office, inflation is up over 17% since President Biden came here. And you're saying that's still Trump's fault?
Inflation is moderating because of the actions that this president has taken.
Doesn't that just mean that prices are going up slower? They're still high.
It's going down. The prices are going down. If you look at for a perfect example, I just talked about last week how turkey prices, the cost for turkeys is going down, the cost for eggs is going down because of the actions that were taken. I just talked about supply chain and how that affects the economy, and that's because of the president's action that he's taken. And if you think about gas prices, it's down by $1.70 since its peak, because of the actions that this president has taken. So we understand that people are still not feeling it. We get that. But doesn't mean that we're not going to continue to talk about it. Doesn't mean that the president at 2:00 is not going to talk about how he's lowering costs, right? And let's not forget what Republicans are doing on the other side of again, Pennsylvania Avenue. They're trying to increase healthcare costs. They want to get rid of Medicare. They want to get rid of Social Security. That is something that we saw them try to do at the State of the Union, right? They do that over and over and over again. They want to make sure the millionaires and billionaires are actually getting the benefits, right? And so that's not our way. Our way is to build the middle class from the bottom up, middle out, and the president believes in that. He talks about it. You're going to hear him talk about it in about an hour, and that's going to be our focus. I get to take one more. Go ahead, Brian.
Thanks a lot, Karine. Has the president personally been involved today in these negotiations with the release of the hostages, this sticking point over having mothers released with their children? Has the president been personally involved today?
So, as you heard from the admiral, the president certainly has been kept aware. He's put in a very much a personal focus on this, on these on the pause that we're seeing. The pause that obviously the first kind of deal of the pause is ending today. Now they're going to see another 2 days, as you heard from my colleague, and this is very personal for this president. He's been very much engaged. You've seen us read out conversations that he's had right, with leaders in the region, whether it's Egypt, Jordan, and others, obviously including the Prime Minister of Israel. And so the president has been incredibly involved in this. He was certainly briefed by his national security advisor, Jake Sullivan, this morning, as the admiral stated. And so, look, we've always been very clear. When it comes to American hostages being held, wrongfully detained, we take that very seriously. We want to make sure folks are going home to their families. That is important to this president. Families who are suffering, families who are wondering when their loved ones are coming home. And let's not forget getting that all-important humanitarian aid into Gaza for the people of Gaza who need that. So that is going to be continue to be the focus of this president. All right, thanks everybody. Hopefully I'll see you on the road.